Thank you very much, Mr. President, for joining us here at the World Economic Forum. It's always a pleasure to have you contribute to some of the issues that are affecting the continent and trying to find solutions. But with regard to your country, the country was named one of the best performing economies by the IFDB and IMF, just behind Ivory Coast. As the leader of the country, how are you going to try and maintain this for the next years before the country's elections?
Thank you very much.
Since 2014, Senegal has put in place a strategy of emergency based on 3 steps. The first major step is a structural adjustment of the economy. Through this move, we modify the production methods, especially those linked to agricultural production, and increase the production capacity of electricity. This helped in boosting the growth we had achieved since 2015. And in the same year, that is 2015, our growth was 6.15% and 6.7% in 2016. We will continue with these efforts by modifying the production chain. Remember that agriculture has always been a catalyst for growth and the development of services. We have changed now in that electricity capacity has been boosted. We left a situation whereby the population had been witnessing almost 900 hours of cuts to a control situation of less than 100 hours of cuts per year. This had a positive impact on industrial productivity. Industries have resumed, agriculture is now modernized, and so we have achieved the first steps of our strategy, that is emergency. With the production capacity of Senegal already boosted, our next step now focuses on inclusive governance of the economy, solidarity of the same economy, and promotion of education, health, and social protection. The growth is inclusive and based on solidarity, which injects a lot of training, human resource, and finally, the step is governance and also the state of law. I mean, equality before the law and the fight against corruption. This can spark debates, but we have put in place a mechanism to combat the corruption that allows you to maximize the natural resources and direct them towards investment. This is what I consider as a secret growth. Well, we experienced some fruitful years despite some difficulties, but we will maintain the zeal, since it is the same policy which will be conducted in the next few years by 2035. So in 18 years, we will maintain the same policy.
Monsieur President, just to touch on the sustainable energy in the country, we had news that your minister, you had to let him go. He was fired. Now, are there any other plans to replace him with somebody who is going to try and make the industry a little bit much more better?
You know, appointment of ministers is a governance strategy put in place by the head of state. Some go while others arrive. This has no significance on the strategy or policy, which, however, remains intact. The actors may change, but the essential thing is the implementation of the defined strategy. It is a plan Senegal for emergent Senegal. The policies have been drawn by the President of the Republic and implemented by the government. Whether they are implemented by X or Y or Z, it is not very important. The most important is that the policy remains the same, while we remain focused on our vision.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for that. Just to follow up on that, when it comes to boosting the industries in the country, we have you have a very close relationship with the Chinese. Les relations avec le gouvernement chinois, c'est très bon. Donc, my question is just to understand, do you think the Chinese are a big bet, not only for Senegal, but also for the African continent? Is it a new sort of colonization, or rather an industrial colonization?
No, je ne pense pas que les relations entre l'Afrique.
No, I don't think that the relations between China and Africa should be looked at from an angle of colonialism or domination. We live in a competitive world. The China are implementing globalization. They are trying to gain market shares in Africa, and it is logical. They are positioning themselves. They have made available huge funds. 3 years ago, close to $60 billion was spent on Africa. That might not be so important as of now, and Senegal is linked to other countries.
Nos partenaires traditionnels, c'est le monde.
We have usually allies and partners in the Western world. I am talking about France and the United States.
Que nous avons toujours développé et nous continuons à...
While handling this partnership, we remain open to China and other emerging economies.
Économie émergente, même à la Russie.
We don't have barriers with any country, even Russia.
L'Afrique doit...
Africa must work with all its partners and take advantage of these partners, even including China.
Well, thank you very much. Now, we've talked about industrialization and how to try and bring the economy back up. Senegal borders Mali and Burkina Faso, and those are countries that we know very well is dealing with a lot of terrorism. How is your country trying to deal with that, and is it a direct target when it comes to terrorist threats?
Oui, nous nous battons comme tous les pays du monde pour contenir
Yes, we are fighting just like other countries of the world to stop terrorism threats. We are present at the border with Mali. We are in the Sahel. So we could be targeted, but by the grace of God and by the policies that we implement, like intelligence gathering, the grace of God has helped us to tackle the situation.
pour le moment à contenir la situation.
We have not been faced with a particularly serious situation, but we remain vigilant as all countries of the world.
Comme tous les pays du monde.
Merci. Juste dernière question, Monsieur le Président. Your take on the ICC,
Yes.
the Coupe International.
Cour pénale internationale, oui.
Absolument. What is your position on them? A lot of African countries are not in sync with the ICC, but Senegal has been supporting it. What is your take on them?
D'abord, je rappelle que le Sénégal...
Let's first recall that Senegal was the first country in the world to ratify the Rome Treaty on International Criminal Court. So, international criminal law is something which is fundamental for Senegal. It must be said that if justice is functioning normally in Africa, we will not go to the ICC. The ICC steps in when the national and regional courts become faulty.
Les juridictions nationales ou régionales sont défaillantes.
Therefore, if we want Africans to stop going to the ICC, we need to organize our judiciary as we have just been helped by the African Union to do, for instance, in the case of President Hissène Habré.
Concerne le procès du président Habré. Mais
However, international justice is necessary. If not, African countries should either hand down fair judgment in their countries, acting properly according to universal rules. If this is done, we may not need the ICC.
seulement admise. En ce moment, on n'a pas besoin de ces pays. Ou alors,
But if national or regional jurisdictions are absent, the ICC steps in to combat impunity.
quand même, lutter contre l'impunité.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président.
Merci.